Now let's create the final assembly. So new, this time set the template to assembly, same units, millimeters, and then the name, the 7th file, the assembly, in the same folder. Okay. So this is our Siemens NX assembly workspace. You can see this pop-up window to add a component. You can directly add a component here or close it. And you come to the assembly tab. So these are the features we can use for the assembly. This is the reference coordinate system in the assembly workspace. The center is the absolute 0. So to add a component, click on add. You can choose the count, which is the number of components to add. So we are adding just one. Open in this folder. If the folder is not opened automatically here, you can just browse into the folder that you saved your files and click on the first component here, the brackets. This is a preview of it. Okay. And you can see the bracket appears here. In order to move or rotate this part, you can come down and then set the component anchor to absolute, assembly location, absolute displayed part. We want to move and click on the specify orientation. You can see these arrows. Click on the arrow. You can move it anywhere we want. Top, left or right, forward or back. With these points arrows, so we can rotate. So we want to make sure this lies flat on the face. So you have to rotate it like this by 90 degrees. Okay. You just added the first component to the assembly. Do you want to create a fixed constraint? No. You want to move it. And you want to place the center of this cylinder on this absolute 0 center here. So click on the part. You can see the pop-up here. Move. And then we set the motion to point. The first point should be this center. The second point should be the absolute 0. We cannot select it directly from here. So come to this point dialog. Set the X reference to 0, Y 0, Z 0, and that is the absolute 0. So okay. Okay. Now with this, we can still move the parts. We have to make a fix. So assembly constraint. You can see the fixed constraint here. Click on the parts. Okay. Now this part is fixed. Click on it and move. You can see set the motion back to dynamic. You can see when we move it, a pop-up here comes. No, we don't want to move it. Cancel. So this is the first part. Now let's add the second part. So add, and the second part should be the hub here. You want to move the hub somewhere to the front here. So specify orientation. Click on this forward arrow, move it forward. Now again, you want to make sure this vertical cylinder becomes horizontal. So on this point, click and rotate by 90 degrees. Okay. Then you have to make sure these two holes align. So assembly constraint, concentric, this circle, and then this circular edge here. Okay. Now click and let's see if we can move it in any direction. So again, dynamic. You can see we can move it in this direction. So we want to make sure that this face and this face are parallel. So assembly constraint, use the parallel, click on this face and this face. Okay. With this we cannot move it. We now insert the second bracket. Move it to this location. And rotate by 90 degrees in this direction. And rotate it like this by 90 degrees also. Okay. Just as we did for these two circular edges, we do it for this part also. So assembly constraint, concentric, this edge, and this circular edge. And in parallel, this time this face and this face. Okay. Insert the next component, the pin. Okay. Now we need 2 pins, so keep the count 2, and you can move them upwards like this. Okay. Now the first pin will enter here in this hole, and the second pin enters this hole. So assembly constraint, concentric, this face enters this face. So make these two circular edges concentric, but it's in the opposite direction. So reverse last constraint, this is what we want. Again, concentric, this face and this face. Reverse last constraint. Okay. And we add the next component, the spacer. Specify orientation and move them upwards or downwards like this. Okay. Assembly constraint. Again, concentric, this circular edge and this circular edge. Now this circular edge and this circular edge as well. Reverse last constraint for it to come outside. Okay. Add the next component, the shaft. Now I want to rotate the shaft by 180 degrees, so this face comes here. So click on it, move, a dynamic motion. Now rotate this point by 180 degrees. Okay. And then remove this to this side. Okay. Now let's insert this shaft into this hole. So assembly constraint. This time we use the touch align, and the orientation should be infer center and axis. This axis and this axis. Now click on it, you can rotate it like this. We want to make sure that this face on the shaft and this face on the brackets are aligned. So parallel, this face and this face. And then we make sure that this face comes and touches this face. So this time prefer touch this face and this face. Reverse last constraint, and this is what we want. Okay. We do same for this shaft. Assembly constraint. We align the center axis. So click on this center line and this center line. Click on it and pull it back. Okay, so we can see we can move this bracket as well. So before anything, we want to make sure that this face and this face are parallel. So parallel, click on this face and this face. Now this bracket doesn't move again. So rotate this shaft. And then you make sure that, again, this face and this face are parallel. And then prefer touch this face and this face. Reverse last constraint. Okay. And then finally, we insert the key into this keyway. So add, and this last component, the key. We need 2 of them. Okay. Let's insert the first key. So assembly constraint. This time prefer touch. Make sure this face touches the top of the key here. And make sure this face touches this side of the key. Now click on the key, pull it back, and then you want to make sure that this face of the shaft this little face of the shaft here, assembly constraint, this little face of the shaft touches this face of the key. Okay, then we do same for this key. So click on it and move it to the other side. Okay, assembly constraint, prefer touch this face and this face. Now the top here should touch the top of the key. Now move the key inside. You want to make sure that this face also touches this tiny face here. Okay, you can see these constraints are making the whole thing clumsy. You can disable them by coming to view, hide and show, and then hide these assembly constraints. Okay, you can save the part again. And yeah, that's how to create this mechanical coupling assembly using Siemens NX. That's the end of the tutorial. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you out. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video so your friends can also watch and know how we can create this mechanical coupling assembly using Siemens NX. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.